Welcome, Kiddie Winkles, to Love Hate, the show that is hella cool. As you can tell, I'm really cool now. I'm talking like the characters in the game. Hella radical, gnarly, yo. Very late to the party on this one. I actually got halfway, got to episode 3 about a year and a half ago. Never finished it until recently. But now I've finally finished it. So here we go. Here are my things that I love and hate about Life is Strange. I love the fact that you can see the choices. I like the idea of seeing both outcomes and you make a decision based on what actually happens rather than just taking a gamble, you know? Unlike The Walking Dead, where if you kill a zombie, 5 main characters die. But I hate the slang in the game. Oh my god, it's hella annoying. I'm telling you, the people that made this game went on Google and typed in phrases that weird hipster people say. And that's where all their dialogue came from. It's hella annoying. But I love the story though. The story is actually really interesting. At first it's not. At first you're like, what is this? It's like a little high school drama. I don't want no drama. But as the game progresses, it gets more interesting and more complex and just more weird, to be honest. I was hooked, I'll be honest. Like, I was a fish and the game was a fishing rod and it hurt my lips and I had to go to surgery. But I hate the graphics. Now that's a really odd thing to complain about, but the graphics are really bad for a PS4 game. I'm just saying. And I know this game was probably on different consoles and was on PC and bleep bleep blue last gen. No excuse though, it does not look nice in my opinion. I think they're very bland looking, honestly. This game doesn't really have much of an art style to it. That's just my opinion though, so don't kill me, don't. But I love the music in this game though. It's got some really nice music choices. Very tranquil. It definitely suited the tone of the game, 100%. Although I will admit I was a bit of an idiot. I had the music turned off for like half the game. I recorded a video in it and I turned off the music. And I forgot to put it back on, so the whole thing was just really quiet. Same time though, that made it more realistic. I felt more involved because there's no music or anything. This was happening, just the howling wind in the background and the girl's screams. And I hate the plot holes in the game. I guess I can't really get too mad about it because it does go all over the place in terms of story. But there are parts towards the end where you're just like, well, how did this happen? How did he speak to that? Wouldn't that surely have changed this? How would this have done that? And I remember pausing the game and just thinking like, how is that even possible? And then unpause it and straight away afterwards you go back in time or something. So I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't even matter anyway. The game doesn't even care. The game just put its hand up and went, you know what? Stop. Not interested in what I have to say. Talk to the hand because my balls are not interested. I love the theme though of all the whole photographing thing. I like the whole Polaroid picture thing. She's all old school. Like, I'm so hipster. I use Polaroids. Am I cool now? The answer is no. No, you're not. But Polaroids are, but you're not. I hate most of the side characters though. I didn't like any of them. I didn't mind Max and I didn't mind Chloe. Oh, and Frank. I quite like Frank because he was just weird. But everyone else was a bit like, I guess the villain was okay. But all the kids at the school were just like little stereotypical goons. Like that one fat chick who's like a Tumblr user is like, hey Max, I have no friends. Will you be my friend? No one cares. There's a part at the end where a lot of them can actually die, I believe. And I didn't even know you could rewind and save them. That's how little I gave a shit. I didn't even attempt to rewind and be like, oh yeah, maybe I can save this chick. Maybe now you'll have friends in hell. Am I right, lads? But I love the fact that the voice acting, for the most part, is actually pretty decent. There's not a lot of voices which really took me out of the game, and I was like, this is disgustingly awful. Unlike Minecraft story mode. Oh my god, kill me. Most of it's actually decent. Not amazing, but decent. But I hated the last episode, the whole nightmare sequence thing. I mean, this game's been out for a long time now, so it's not really spoilers, but did anybody else not really like the nightmare part? It just took so long. It dragged on for ages. And didn't really add anything to the story apart from Max being like, I had a nightmare and I like Polaroids. Just dragged on. I got a bit sick of it towards the end. Kind of like when I eat pizza. Just kidding. I can never get sick of pizza. But I love the time travel element. I don't really like time travel in games, if I'm honest, or movies or TV shows. That's like time travel. But in this game, it actually made sense and it was a cool mechanic. How she looked into the photo and went back in time. I actually really liked that. And it wasn't like she just went back in time. She actually became herself in time, which is more interesting. Especially on the last episode where you're constantly going all over the place with the photos. Definitely the best episode, the last one. Like most TV shows. Aside from Dexter season 8 last episode, that was awful. And it's got the same name as me, so that made it even worse. But I hate the fact that things didn't matter a lot. You know what I mean? You could make choices and do all this stuff, then she's like, oh, whatever, I'll go back in time, bye. So none of it even mattered. I guess it kind of did because all her other selves are just like, you're an asshole, la 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 la. But in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't make a difference whatsoever. That kind of bugged me. I haven't used that phrase in a while. Kind of bugged me. Quite like it. Might use it more often. And for my last love of the day, I really liked that whole part with Frank. That might sound like a really odd thing to say. I've got a little Frank fetish, in case you didn't know that. But I literally spent an hour rewinding and trying to get all my choices so Frank like wouldn't get shot or stabbed or whatever. I don't know. I just found it really intriguing. The fact that I actually wanted to do that whole sequence without Frank getting hurt. So I knew it could be done. Eventually, I did give up though and he got stabbed in the leg, but you know. I guess for me, that was a big highlight. That and the last episode. But I hated the fact that the villain was too obvious. I mean, people were like, oh my god, that was the villain all along. And I don't know about you, but it's pretty obvious. Come on. I didn't really think that much of it during the first and second episode because, it's, you know, I'm not thinking about it. It's just, I'm just enjoying the game. But by the third and fourth episode, it's just painfully obvious obvious. I mean, for God's sake, why is a grown teacher at this high school weird party? That should be a big no-no / red flag for anybody. Even the fairies in Neverland. And they like everybody. And there you have it, the things that I love and hate about Life is Strange. Should you play it? I definitely think you should. It starts off a bit slow, but by the end, I guarantee you'll really like episode 4 and 5. Shit gets hella real, as they would say. Actually, you know what? I've got one last hate. Chloe never shuts up about her goddamn dad and how bad her life is. You know what, Chloe? Have a little cry, alright? Go cry yourself a little river. Maybe even a lake if you fancy it. Then go swimming in it, then cry some more. What am I on about? I'll see you next time.